r/AskReddit by LaughWithMEmes. What helps you go to sleep when you don't feel tired? Reading. It's kinda sad, but I've realized books put me to sleep now, even if it's an exciting book. Edit. Many people are asking, so I'll explain here. Reading is not sad in itself. I love reading. I think it's sad because reading started to put me to sleep, so I now read much less than I used to as a kid. Oh, and thanks for the shyness. I learned a trick recently that helps me a lot. I count backwards from 99. Slowly. The key is to do it slowly, and I cannot emphasize the importance of that enough. Think the number, then take a pause that feels a little bit too long, before thinking the next number, then take another pause. 99, pause, 98, pause, 97, pause, 96, pause. The lowest I've ever counted is into the 60s or maybe the 50s before I fall asleep. Often, I'm asleep before I'm through the 80s. Sometimes I'll lose track of what the next number is because I catch myself falling asleep, so I'll start over and I always fall asleep quickly after that. Again, the key is to count backward, slowly. Before I started doing this, I used to toss and turn in bed for hours trying to fall asleep. But this knocks me out in minutes. Maybe you're wondering why start at 99. Why not 100? If I start at 100, I hear Bono's voice from the rattle and hum version of Bullet the Blue Sky, saying slap in and down, 100, 200, which eventually leads to am I bugging you? Don't mean to bug you from Silver and Gold. And that bugs me, which makes it even harder to fall asleep, god damn it. So, I start at 99 instead, because fuck that. Get up for a little bit. Don't stay in bed for 3 hours when you're unable to sleep. Also get off your phone. Someone out there is probably reading this at night. On a phone. I play some stories in my head. Like you're suddenly a character in your favorite series, and what would you do and stuff. I do the same thing, though sometimes the plot gets too deep, and it causes me to not be able to sleep for even longer. It's a problem. Yeah, that happens to me too actually. I tell myself that I continue in the morning, and then make the plot go to nighttime. I mostly never continue the plot in the morning. It's just a sweet little lie I tell myself. This is so silly, but I watch the 09 Sherlock Holmes movie with RDJ. Puts my ass right to sleep, like I done been knocked out. Head tilt. 12 degrees. Right arm, below pillow. Right leg, out of blanket. Left leg. 45 degrees. Outcome. 8 hours slumber. Thinking about the Big Sad and cry myself to sleep. Ah yes, the Big Sad of 1929. I remember it well. One of the world's worst events, along with the Great Coffee Spill of 1945. I lost my third hand and a bunch of nose hairs during the Big Sad. Seriously, that was the worst epidemic I think. Basically I convince myself I've given up and go on my phone or play 3DS and make a plan to read something or play to a measurable point so that there's something that I want to stay awake for. Something that sleep would interrupt. Puts me right the FK to sleep and I'm never sure if I should be glad or annoyed lol. Whenever I watch TV in the afternoon, I fall to sleep. So genius me thinks, if I can't sleep, just watch TV. Turns out I only fall asleep when the intention is not to sleep. I think you're onto something. This is going to sound weird, but I slowly say goodnight to each of my body parts, starting with my toes and working up. Usually, I'm asleep by the time I hit my chest or so. If I'm not, I know it's going to be a long night. Let the Reddit ridicule begin. I do this thing that the US Army does. They start from their feet and only focus on one body part at a time. They completely relax their whole body section by section, and then once completely relaxed they try not to think of anything, and fall asleep in about 10 seconds. It used to take about 20 minutes for me to fall asleep by just laying there with my eyes closed, but I tried this last week and I fell asleep straight away. Edit. BTW, I'm only 14 and my only source about the army was my friend's dad in the army, so I don't know if it was just his regiment, but for anyone saying that this isn't true, I don't know for sure if it's true for the whole military. Not going to lie. Shit is super weird. But after a lifetime of brutal insomnia, you have to imagine my eye-rolling skeptical yeah, I guess I'll try anything once followed by listening to about 3 minutes of someone rubbing a mannequin head's earlobes into a powerful microphone, and then waking up 10 hours later wondering what the fuck just happened. It's not for everyone, mind. But being cured overnight of the biggest cause of suffering and poor health in my life means that I feel morally obligated to recommend this to everyone. Probably not the healthiest method, and not something to rely on, but eating a large meal knocks me out. I do the same. I eat a bigger sandwich with almost everything in it, and sleep with a warm chubby tummy. It's not the best method, but it is one of the best feelings about sleeping for sure. I started gorging myself on water. I'll guzzle down 2 to 3 large glasses of water, and it produces the same effect, plus you'll have an automatic wake-up timer in the form of a swollen bladder. Cry. Crying just makes me more awake, and then I cry more about how I can't fall asleep. I'll post this again, since I posted this last time this was posted. The part of your brain that regulates sleep likes 2 things, regularity and darkness. Your room should be completely dark. You shouldn't use anything with screens in bed, and if you must use them at night, use blue light filters. Don't consume alcohol, exercise, eat huge meals, or drink caffeine before bed. Your brain doesn't understand the concept of waking up on different days of the week. It likes regularity. Get up at the same time every day, and go to sleep in a dark room every day. You'll get tired when you maintain good sleep hygiene. My dad taught me a technique that works well for me. It's kind of weird and spiritual. Because of where we experience most of our senses, especially eyesight, we tend to exist from our heads. Like, our awareness comes from our heads. When I can't sleep, I try to exist within my belly. I try to make my awareness come from the middle of my body. It's incredibly relaxing. The military sleep procedure. Here's how to do it. Relax the muscles in your face, including tongue, jaw and the muscles around the eyes. Drop your shoulders as far down as they'll go, followed by your upper and lower arm. One side at a time. Breathe out, relaxing your chest followed by your legs, starting from the thighs, and working down. You should then spend 10 seconds trying to clear your mind, before thinking about one of the 3 following images. You're lying in a canoe on a calm lake with nothing but a clear blue sky above you. You're lying in a black velvet hammock in a pitch black room. You say don't think, don't think, don't think to yourself over and over for about 10 seconds. The technique is said to work for 96% of people after 6 weeks of practice. I tell myself not to think about sleeping. Just enjoy the nice crispy blankets and soft bed, and I tell myself to try to relax and get really cozy instead and not to worry about falling asleep. Focusing on my breathing. Breath in is 1, breath out is 2, and so on. Get to 10 and start again. If my attention drifts, bring it back to breathing. Alternatively, come up with a topic and go through the alphabet for things related to it. Like city names. I very rarely get through the alphabet. I just put my pillow on the other side of the bed, and for some reason this has worked since I was a child just turning around. But I think my friend had a more interesting one. She listens to gay sex. She calls it her lullaby. The podcast Mr. Isabound always lulls me to sleep. The host has a great accent and tone, and he just reads different articles. It's available on Stitcher. I usually set the sleep timer, and I'm out within 30 minutes. Meditate. If I can concentrate on my breath long enough, I fall asleep without even realizing it. Interestingly, there's a subtle distinction between the sensation of breath and that of sleepiness, so you can meditate, ignore the sleepiness sensation, and continue focusing on just your breath. If you do this, of course, you're unlikely to fall asleep. It's much harder than it sounds though. Please like and subscribe for more. This is Laugh with Mims. Goodbye.